somebody I know is. Yeah. That means we're all affected. It affects all of us.
Everybody. Every life matters, and if we can even just impact one person's life, that is worth doing. It's worth our time, it's worth our energy.
The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWAN News. I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Rex. Join me later in the Bulletin for Sports.
In this edition, concerted effort needed in Connect PNG, Morobe students stranded, and Nakia needs support. Governor for Central Province Rufina Peter launched the new Veifa'a Access Road project. It will serve 6 villages, Ave, Veifa'a, Rarai, Amo, and Nanaifua in West Mekeo Kariko District and Central Province. The signing of a memorandum of agreement and the recent groundbreaking ceremony kicks off the construction of the 2 kilometers road project. The access feeder road starts in Ave village and connects to the existing road that passes through the 6 impact villages into the hinterlands of West Mekeo. For the past 20 years, the old road had its challenges, which included harassment by opportunists and travelers having to cross waist-deep waters during the rainy season. Governor Peter acknowledged the people for giving up the traditional land for the intervention of road access. Governor Peter encouraged the people to work together with her. Also present at the launching was Kariko member and West Mekeo Chief Peter Isoaimo, who acknowledged Governor Peter's work in his district. The Central Chamber of Commerce is a network of business owners coming together to network with each other and help build business legislation in the Central Province. At the Chamber's first meet and greet event today, Governor Rufina Peter presented funding of 200,000 kina to the Chamber to ensure that no Central Province SMEs are left behind.
I think this is a demonstration of being conscious of your environment. And once you are conscious, you actually are driven to do what you need to do. And under the leadership of Ms. Linda Paru and her executives coming together to put this in place, we could not. When I came in, I'm looking at Papua LNG and every opportunity that's there. I need a chamber to be there and functioning. I can't do that. That's their area of expertise.
Our establishment is timely to address our many challenges that face the business houses in the province, be it infrastructure, legislation, training, transport, logistics, or just having a favorable business environment to operate in.
Furthermore, Minister for International Trade and Investment voiced his support for the Central Chamber of Commerce and Industry, stating the establishment of the organization is long overdue. Minister Maru encouraged that Central Province could do so much more for their people.
Central can produce more and do more. In every sector, you have the roads, you have the wharf, you have infrastructure that beats every other province. Why don't we have a dream as we start this process to build your chamber that one day Central Province can generate for itself over 100 million in revenue so that all your roads can be maintained by the Central Province. All your schools can be supported. I'm here to tell you, I'm going to be one of the greatest supporters of the Central Dream. Let's do it.
A 4 million check from the 2023 Central Provincial Government budget, sourced from the Development Levy, was presented to member for Hirikoyari, Keith Iduhu. Upon receiving the check, Iduhu said this is the first ever development levy appropriated and paid by the province for the district. Governor Peters said that Hirikoyari is a new district, so it is imperative that as a government, the head districts need to be supported to establish itself and function. Governor Peter is calling on the national government to look at the appropriation for the new districts in the 2023 national budget and start releasing the funds to the new districts. A concerted effort is needed by all stakeholders, including involved in delivering the Connect PNG program to ensure its success. This is the message by Minister for Works and Highways, Solan Mirisim, on behalf of Prime Minister James Marape at the high-level seminar workshop on Connect PNG policy coordination and monitoring at APEC House in Port Moresby today.
The Connect PNG program is the Marape Rosso government's flagship infrastructure development program since taking office in 2019. The program is a 20-year program that is estimated to cost 20 billion kina, which is being implemented in 3 phases. Minister for Works and Highways, Solan Mirisim, speaking on behalf of Prime Minister James Marape, said concerted effort is needed by all stakeholders to make this program a success. He said a paradigm shift is needed in identifying development priorities and cost-effectively implementing and diligently managing them. Minister Mirisim further calls on economists and financial experts to give the government priorities based on prudent analysis to establish costs and benefits to ensure every investment decision made is demand-driven, maximizes and generates higher returns on investment that such an investment generates value for money so that the outputs such as roads developed under the Connect PNG program facilitate and enable improved access to goods and services. Mirisim stressed that roads play a very critical facilitative and enabling role in development, hence the Connect PNG program funding must be guaranteed by a long-term financing plan. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Meantime, Minister for Works and Highways assured all stakeholders and partners that the executive government is committed to ensure that its expenditure decisions are properly aligned to the priorities, such as the Connect PNG program, that will generate the returns necessary to meet the MTDPIV targets. Mirisim also acknowledged the commitments of the external development partners in all the sectors, but more importantly in the road sector, and kindly asked for their support to deliver the Connect PNG program so that we all can celebrate when PNG is fully connected by roads. This is TV1 News. After the break, 200 million kina to save SOEs and Morbe students stranded.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot in talk, young or old, let's calories, family meal at home. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's our favorite for minds. Tennessee cola, scare rice, don't scare price. Tennessee cola, scare rice, don't scare price. Amber, you like it?
All Mama Flame is story all same.
Me sabe you sing flame flower long one yem. Me sabe me Kim Kai Kai belong family belong me. You go more yet.
Man belong me sabe like him flower balls belong me what them cover war na spring onion. All pikinini belong me sabe like him to mas pineapple donut me sabe walk him lo house. Me make kumo mix him on them cow na karamapim long flower.
Tasty hash browns.
Time is kelly one time wala fela Kai Kai. Me sabe kissing more Kai Kai long all get a toya me tromoy one time flame flower.
You enough making more one time flame flour.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans, expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend, PNG's own coffee.
The Toyota JD Hi-Ace bus comes in 14 and 15-seater high-roof luxury model powered by 2.8 liters JD engine for optimal performance output, fuel efficiency and quietness, designed with improved safety features and easy maneuverability for tire steering angle. The Hi-Ace lift suspension and annular frame structure is opted for smooth ride, comfort and safety. Experience the ride on the Hi-Ace bus and experience the Hi-Ace pride, the bus that exceeds all expectations.
It's in the highs and in the lows. It's in the big things and the small things too. It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. Terrain tamer, when quality counts.
Federal agents!
We're gonna investigate and find the truth.
Level 3 domestic terrorist warning. Call base security.
The final season is here.
This is NCIS. It's over. Drop it. Drop the gun.
This guy wants to kill a lot more people.
Now he has the tools to do it.
A genetic weapon. Gotta get someone on the inside. Parsons has enough explosives to take down an entire city block.
NCIS Los Angeles. Final season Tuesdays on AXN.
Welcome back. The government has presented a check of 200 million kina to Kumo Consolidated Holdings on Thursday to rescue the struggling state utility companies, PNG Power, Air New Guinea and Water PNG. Treasurer Ian Lingstaki presented the check to Minister for State-Owned Enterprises William Duma and witnessed by Prime Minister James Marape and other government leaders.
After a 4-hour meeting on Thursday, during which Prime Minister James Marape was provided a full status report on the 3 state-owned enterprises, he said it was overdue that major efforts be put into these SOEs to help them equalize the community service obligation roles they have been playing with profit-making. He said state-owned enterprises have been carrying these community service obligations while operating under rundown infrastructure for too long. The Prime Minister said since taking office, they have recognized that all they have been doing over the years has been putting on cosmetic dressing. He stressed that the government need to keep these SOEs from sinking so they can be able to turn the efficiency of their businesses around. The Prime Minister said interventions for these utilities, SOEs, will be done utilizing government policies such as the public-private partnership to bring development partners on board. For Air New Guinea, the main challenge facing the airline is an aging aircraft fleet that has been causing flight disruptions and impacting revenue, while for PNG Power, it is the loss in revenue, including from huge debts the company is owed, and for Water PNG, funding constraints have been named as its biggest challenge. Recommendations were made for securing a couple of aircraft to start a new fleet, something that is looking achievable even at this point. The meeting was attended by the Prime Minister, Treasurer Ian Lingstaki, Minister for SOE William Duma, and Directors and Management of KCH. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
85 new desks were given to Porabada Primary School from the Hirikoyari District Development Authority. Member for Hirikoyari Keith Iduhu shared that the biggest priority for the district is education and a steady and prudent investment strategy for supporting our district's schools in one of the DDA's ongoing efforts. The desks were handed over, including several office equipment, to the school. Iduhu encouraged the school to take good care of the furniture and equipment. The DDA will be supporting all schools in the district as they see the importance and value of education that the district can progress towards achieving success. Some members of the Moraba Tertiary Students' Union have no accommodation or have been deregistered from their respective institutions due to the partial payment of fees from the Gerson Solulu Scholarship Office. While Moraba Governor Luther Wenge committed to pay in full of the fees, every single tertiary student from Moraba, some students have not been attending classes for over a month as they still have outstanding payment.
Union have been unable to continue the academic year after their semester 1 break as they have outstanding balances with their respective tertiary institutions. President of the Moraba Tertiary Students Union, Jack Maru, is a final year forestry student at the University of Technology. He said some of their peers were able to continue with semester 2 as their parents and guardians were able to meet the outstanding payment, while those students who did not have the money had to stay back and pursue the office of the Gerson Solulu Scholarship. And they have been doing it for 1 month and 1 week now.
Right now we have here is Ballot Teachers College President and executives, Unitech, Polytech, University of Goroka, Goroka Technical College, Divine Med University, Medang Technical College, Medang Teachers College, Maritime PNG. Those are the presidents where they can make themselves available because of the transportation purposes. Our colleagues didn't join us a few weeks ago because of the fees funds that make them to travel here.
The group of students came to Tutumang House this afternoon to meet with the Moraba Provincial Executive Council Education Chairman and told him that the officer in charge of the Gerson Solulu Scholarship has not been forthcoming with them. Tuve Solo is a third-year political science student at the University of Goroka. He described their situation as difficult, saying students were forced to look for accommodation, even rent in units, while their student leaders remained in Leh to plead their case with the provincial government. There are 278 Moraba students at UOG.
They have removed us from the resident status because of funds have not available in the institution, and also remove us from the exam. Before the first semester examination, they removed us. We slept out with some of the family relatives and others, and we did our exam. Those who have parents that allocated their funds, they registered, but some of the students who came from the rural areas, we are still waiting for this fund to be available.
The Provincial Education Chairman Lemson Gilan Sao gave the assurance that 8 million kina has already been paid, while 12 million kina still remains in the Gerson Solulu Scholarship account.
Free education. All school beginning, but they will not pay any component fee. That's no. Top Muslim 100% from elementary to university. 900%. 20 million kina is allocated already. And also 20 million kina, they paid on 8 million kina. Now there's a 12 million kina start. Now there's a 12 million kina. Listen come out. Now end of the story.
The Provincial Education Chairman said the Governor is aware of the situation and they will still have another meeting with the officer in charge of the scholarship next week. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
The National Agriculture, Quarantine and Inspection Authority managed the incursion of coffee berry borer in PNG with no government funding. Apart from the CBB, Nakia is also managing the outbreak of African swine fever in Southern Highlands, Enga and Hela since its incursion in 2020.
Biodiversity refers to animal and plant health measures that prevent the introduction, establishment, and spread of pests and diseases. This is one of the dire functions of the National Agriculture Quarantine and Inspection Authority. It plays an important role in supporting the agriculture sector, where more than 80% of Papua New Guineans derive their livelihood from. Managing Director Joel Alu lamented that government support through budgetary allocation has been non-existent for the agency.
NACI has never been funded for a long, long time. I said today, we've never received any money for the last 6 months. Until the beginning of June, we got some money from Finance Department. So the first thing that we wanted to do was this work. Because of funding issues, there's a lot of challenges. Challenges in the sense that we cannot be able to send our officers, our technical officers, to do monitoring and surveillance, find out whether we have disease in this country or whether disease is arriving, and then at the same time to make sure that our ports of entry at the borders, like for example Mendang, Leh is our biggest port. Our officers are there 24 hours to make sure that the containers that are coming in are not carrying harmful pests and diseases, those of animal and plant products. That's what we look for. But we don't have, the facilities, the infrastructure, including X-ray machines, sniffer dogs, and the training that some of our quarantine officers need to go through. He says, this quarantine officer, there's no quarantine school. There's no school for quarantine officers in this country. But it's on the job that these guys go through this by doing inspection of cargo and everything. They acquire this knowledge and skills.
Halu said currently PNG has the coffee berry boira and the African swine fever for the CBB, which is considered one of the most devastating coffee pests in the world. Nakia managed it with no government support. When the first case of African swine fever was reported in Mendi, Southern Island Province on March 28, 2020, Nakia swiftly responded by mobilizing personnel and resources to the ASF-declared areas. This was done with the support of the Australia and New Zealand governments through the Pacific Horticultural and Agriculture Market Access Plus program. Halu stressed that the PNG government needs to prioritize Nakia if it is concerned about the agriculture, livestock and poultry sectors. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
The government today signed a memorandum of understanding with RD Corporation to enter into negotiations to set up a fishing company in Madang. The primary aim of the MOU is to negotiate commercial terms for the state and RD Corporation to set up a joint venture company to initially fish and process all the catch in a new possible cannery within the PMIZ in Madang as a special economic zone.
A historical initiative of the Maraperoso government to go into domestication of the fishing industry, where for the first time ever large fishing company to fish the waters of PNG and pave way for a fish processing plant in the country. The Minister for Trade and Investment, Richard Maru, said it has been 48 years PNG fishing industry has been giving license to fishing companies and take 80% of PNG's cash to process outside.
It has been 48 years when we have as a country been rent collectors by giving licenses to fishing companies to come into our waters. Effectively, our country has been a rent collector and a spectator in this very important resource industry.
He said 3 parties will be partners to this agreement.
Parties will be partners to this agreement, to the signing of the agreement. My department, of course, NFA and Kumul Consolidated. They represent the state.
He said for the first time through this agreement, PNG will have a large fishing company to fish and become fishing crews. He said the main goal is to have 100% of catch caught and processed in PNG, which results in the creation of 10 additional processing plants and employment of 15,000 Papua New Guineans, mainly women. Hardy Corporation Chief Financial Officer Roy Rivera said every year there are about 16,000 metric tons of tuna caught in the waters of PNG.
Every year, around 600,000 metric tons of tuna is caught in the waters of Papua New Guinea. 80% of that is exported, mainly to processing centers like in Bangkok Thailand.
He said PNG is blessed to be in the tuna highway.
Papua New Guinea is blessed in its geographic location that you are in a tuna highway. The Western Central Pacific, that's roughly around 60% of the tuna in the world.
He said PNG is likely to be the tuna capital in the world. This is the beginning of this journey. Prime Minister James Marape, who officiated at the signing, said the fishing industry has been a sleeping giant for years. The agreement is the way forward for all catches to be processed in the country.
This industry has been a sleeping giant untapped in the past, and I am happy with this vision to bring all catches from sea in the Western Pacific and PNG waters coming to PNG.
Tracy Part, TVWAN News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2800 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2725 US, $0.3923 Australian dollars, $0.2349 euro, and 37.221 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, all closed higher except copra and palm oil closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. TV1 News continues when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He loves the Maroons. He loves the Blues. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi trubla. All get a young plana lapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
It's in the highs and in the lows. It's in the big things and the small things too. It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. Terrain tamer, when quality counts.
911, what is your emergency? We're stuck in the flood and we can't get out of our vehicle.
Fear.
We will not leave us to die.
Distress.
I have been kidnapped.
Desperation.
Terror. Oh, my love is broken. Tell him to hurry. him come into the room. Just hit a button on your phone.
911.
Welcome back. To regional news, the Pacific Islands Forum Chair Mark Brown says the planned release of treated nuclear wastewater into the Pacific Ocean cannot be a breach of the Rarotonga Treaty, as it's a controlled release and not a dump. The treaty commits the Pacific to being nuclear-free and bans the dumping of nuclear waste in the region. Japan aims to gradually release 1.4 million tons of treated nuclear wastewater from the defunct Fukushima power plant over a period of 30 to 40 years. And that time lag is pivotal in determining that it is a release rather than a dump. Brown, who is also the Cook Islands Prime Minister, expressed his confidence in the UN Atomic Energy Agency's findings in its latest report, which finds that Japan's plan meets international standards. The plan is to treat the water, dilute it, test it, and then release it over decades from a pipe about 1 kilometer off Japan's shore. This project is happening in an effort to decommission the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station that was destroyed after a tsunami hit reactors, causing a meltdown and explosions in 2011. A crocodile attack in the Northern Territory's Litchfield National Park has again raised questions as to how the species can be protected alongside human lives and health. As is the case in many fields, technology could prove the answer.
A number of years ago, we were looking at the issue of crocodile management in Queensland, and the conventional historical approach, which has been very successful over time, and that should be recognised, which is geared around education, awareness, removal of problem crocodiles and research and monitoring. It was working well, but as we have populations recover, it occurred to us we needed to do more and look at technologies, such as multi-beam sonar to help us be better in that space. So, yeah, a number of years ago, we trialled the use of multi-beam sonar, which, if I can sort of describe it, it's if you think of the fish finder on your boat has about 3 beams. And these things have about 1,200, and they're used in deep sea floor mapping. So we adapted that to be used in rivers to detect crocodiles, and that was sort of the start of a bit of a journey in terms of developing a system that could look to detect, alert, and deter crocodiles. So I guess take a quick step back. This is fairly pioneering and in its infancy in terms of this technology. We've still got quite a bit of work to do in that R&D space, but essentially we use the multi-beam sonar to detect. We use artificial intelligence or deep learning to do that automatically and alert. And then what we've done is trial the use of sound and light to deter crocodiles. And we did some trials last year that demonstrated in a wild context that we could successfully deter large crocodiles from a location that had food, and we're able to do that over a three-hour period. So it's very much still preliminary. There is a bit of work to do in that space, but it's a new frontier, and it's quite pioneering. So the proof of concept is there, but we're a ways off sort of rolling out a product. But there's work being done in that space for sure. Australia and a number of countries have done a tremendous job of recovering saltwater crocodile populations from a time when they were all but almost extinct, at least commercially so in Australia. And so, that should be recognised, those efforts. But yep, as we succeed in bringing a large predator back to historical numbers, and we see increasing human populations that are further encroaching into crocodile habitat, we are seeing more incidents occur, but they still remain relatively low. And I think that's important to realise that we're not talking large numbers. Each incident is serious and needs to be taken in that way, but there's a lot of good work that's been done to prevent attacks, and this is a new frontier and another way in which we're trying to keep people safe or reduce the risk to humans. Yeah, look, absolutely, and you're spot on. It's not a silver bullet at all. It's in its infancy, but it is. We are looking at another tool in the toolbox. That's the goal. We want to be realistic about this. We're talking about people's safety, so we're not going to come out and say we've got we've got the answer. But it is looking promising, and there is the other aspect of environmental DNA, which is essentially as that technology evolves, you have creatures that live in the water and they shed DNA into the water, and now we have the ability to take a water sample and to determine whether a species like a crocodile is actually in that particular area. Again, it sounds great, it sounds promising, but again, not a silver bullet. There's a lot of work to be done in that space, but I guess the key thing being that we are looking to do more and being better, and we're working together with our counterparts in the Northern Territory to look at better ways of keeping people safe. And we started this process and this journey about 5 to 10 years ago with the idea that this problem wasn't going away and we had to do more and be better. So we're happy where things are, where they are now, but there's still a bit of work to do to refine them and see whether there are a lot of unknowns when you're pioneering and cutting new ground.
The Foreign Minister of the Marshall Islands has called for more U.S. compensation over the legacy of massive U.S. nuclear testing to enable the renewal of a strategic agreement governing bilateral relations. Marshall Islanders are still plagued by health and environmental effects of 67 nuclear bomb tests from 1946 to 1958, which included Castle Bravo at Bikini Atoll in 1954, the largest U.S. bomb ever detonated. Jack Ading told a U.S. congressional hearing a memorandum of understanding covering terms to extend his country's compact of free association with Washington was signed in January without proper domestic authorization and under pressure of a deadline for inclusion in Joe Biden's budget. He said the MOU was non-binding and appealed to Congress to direct the Biden administration to continue negotiating. The Marshall Islands is one of 3 Pacific Island nations covered by COFAS, under which the U.S. has responsibility for the defense and provides economic assistance while gaining exclusive access to huge strategic swaths of the Pacific. Hundreds of people from desert communities in Western Australia have gathered for an annual sports and cultural festival. The week-long Matu Youth Festival is an opportunity for communities to test their sporting powers, enjoying some live music and catch up with family.
Well, it's day 5 of the Matu Youth Festival here in the remote community of Punmu. It's the final day of the festival where people from communities around the Western Desert have come together to play footy, softball, celebrate culture and catch up with family. And it's getting pretty heated out on the field. We've got teams fighting in the semi-finals at the moment for bragging rights for the best footy and softball team in the Western Desert. Last year's champions were the Yandiara Bulls for the footy and the Kirakara Lions for the softball. So it'll be interesting to see who takes home the champion title this year. For tonight, it'll be the biggest night in terms of entertainment and music. There'll be cultural performances and all the Matu musicians will be getting up on stage together for one final show. So there will definitely be lots of dancing and singing tonight, that's for sure.
And Jasmine, how important is this festival for people in the Western Desert?
Well, it's extremely significant. People have travelled hundreds of kilometres, spent hours on dirt roads to be here at the event. I spoke to one elder from Bijidanga who travelled more than 11 hours on the road to see her family. For her and many others, this event is really important to catch up with family that they haven't seen for over a year. And for the kids, it's also a great opportunity to show off their sporting skills. There are representatives here from the West Coast Eagles, the Swan Districts, Softball WA, all here looking for the best young talent in the Western Desert. And based off some of the games I've seen, they've definitely found some star players.
And this is the year of the Voice referendum. Is anyone there talking about that?
Yeah, well, I've talked to a couple of community leaders and elders, and there's been a pretty mixed response in terms of the voice, awareness around the voice and how they're going to vote. I spoke to one elder who said that the referendum is really important for Indigenous people to have a say within Parliament. However, I've spoken to others who have said that they are going to follow what their elders have to say and really listen to the decision they have to make, and other people who have never heard about the voice to Parliament at all. So there's been a pretty mixed view in terms of the voice, and I would say most people's focus has definitely been out on the footy field out here.
And now the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Back home, regional forecast for the next 24 hours. In southern region, isolated showers. In Momase region, isolated showers and thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. And in Highlands region, areas of patchy rain, then scattered morning fog. Possibility of frost. And that ends the news segment. Next in sports with Rex, Lihirg League then thinks Hunters and Crocs win grand final rematch.
It's in the highs and in the lows. It's in the big things and the small things too. It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. Terrain tamer, when quality counts.
Remember the joy of playing with your toys as a child? At Money Plus, we believe that every small business deserves the chance to build and grow. That's why we offer asset financing.
Now chance to building something new, to see a different point of view. With Money Plus we're ready to go.
Mipla halivim wari belong you.
How would you describe your mother?
My mom is beautiful.
She is strong like the woman.
I love my mom because she always takes care of me.
My mom, she's so patient and loving. I feel she's always around.
Caring. She works so hard and always wants the best for me.
She's soft like her love.
My mom is everything, and I don't know what I'd do without her.
Softland, fragrance of a mother's love.
Hardware House launches the low-cost quick build kit home, built with quality building materials from the leading manufacturer of steel products and kit homes, Atlas Steel. Going now at introductory prices: 1-bedroom kit home at 79,000 kina, 2-bedroom kit home at 99,900 kina, and 3-bedroom kit home at 125,000 kina. You can also opt for solar units to be installed in the kit home at an extra charge. For more information, email info@hardwarehouse.com.pg.
Aliens are taking over the globe. We gotta go save our dads.
Oh, how I've missed you, Holmes.
sink into the floor.
Wait.
I'm the first of my kind. I won't be the last.
Thanks for staying with us. The PNG Hunters' historic one-day tour of the Lihir gold mine on Wednesday this week has left some lasting impressions not only on the mining workforce but the whole community, particularly the Lihir Rugby League. Apart from embracing the mining experience, the PNG Hunters also met with executives of the Lihir Rugby League to share their experiences and impart some modern, rather coaching tips playing at the Queensland Rugby League level.
The invitational visit to Lihir Island this week by the PNG Hunters team was a blessing in disguise for Lihir Rugby League, who felt privileged and overwhelmed by the visit. As part of the team's community engagement, the Hunters visited Lihir International Primary School to run basic rugby skills sessions with the students. They also met with the executive of Lihir Rugby League for a short clinic session on the dynamics of the game, mainly at the QRL elite level. The meeting was chaired by PNG Hunters CEO Scott Barker, Hunters captain Ila Alu, and senior players in Roderick Tai, Sakias Komati, and Weza Tensa. The players were happy to share their individual experiences, especially the systems and development pathways they went through to advance in their rugby league career. President of Lihir Rugby League, Isaac Kapsa, thanked Newcrest Mining for bringing the country's elite rugby league team to the island. He said it was a rare privilege and a boost for the local league. Kapsa is now calling on the PNG RFL to look at utilizing the Hunters coaching staff and players as part of the Community Rugby League strategic plan to enhance the development of the game from the grassroots level.
Me asking PNG RFL long, utilizing all Hunters local level from rested league. That's why I bring straight from long rugby league straight from the tamlo plastic on top long when you can level by me. I'm expecting long. Running inside long, overseas. You know you look long overseas country. Where you try to go inside overseas, we can't go there unless all Hunters say you utilize small long, come down to level from the community, and that's where by me building standard rugby league inside long community level blue me long, country blue me.
The president also admitted that the local league around the country are struggling at the moment due to lack of support from PNG RFL in terms of providing qualified high-performance development officers who can go out and grow the game from the junior or grassroots level.
At the moment now, PNG RFL by pumping money go long, all development officers là, I'm true, but by me look something good because the development officer, they must entirely involved in rugby league, like now the Hunters are doing now. So we must emphasize early on the Hunters to come down to our level, stress him out, rugby league you must carry him out, to the community level. That's how we prosper rugby league, lively me, and we're going to put competition against other overseas countries like Australia and England, and by me look straight to rugby, we have contact.
The Lihir Rugby League affiliates to the PNG Rugby League. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Cricket PNG board and selectors have released the official team for the upcoming EAP T20 World Cup final to be held in Port Moresby from January 22nd to Saturday, 29th July 2023. This is also a first time for two Cricket 2020 World Cup East Asia Pacific finals to be staged on PNG soil.
When reacting to the media release today, Cricket PNG Board Chairman Mick Harrison congratulated the selected team, adding they are fully supportive and look forward to hosting the first ever Cricket T20 World Cup EAP final in PNG. The historic event will be staged from Saturday 22nd to Saturday 29th July 2023 at the spiritual home of cricket in PNG, the Amini Cricket Park, Port Moresby. Chairman Harrison said the borough's preparations are in full swing. Nathan Radin, head coach of the Kumul Petroleum PNG Baramandis men's team, stated that the players are very excited heading into the EAP finals and are certainly aware of the positive impact qualifying for the 2024 World Cup will have on Cricket PNG. Coach Radin said they have been blessed with the support of Pacific Oil Sports and Kumul Petroleum to help assist our preparations. He said as head coach he is certainly excited to be involved with Cricket PNG again, as he was part of the team when we qualified in Dubai with Joe Dawes. With the support of our sponsor Pacific Oil Sports, it has also allowed Cricket PNG to have fantastic coaches involved over the past 3 months to get the Bara skills where they need to be to dominate this tournament. The EAP qualifying process include first time is a direct qualifier straight to the World Cup from East Asia Pacific region. Only one team can qualify from the tournament, and this will be the Kumul Petroleum Baramandis' second appearance in this prestigious tournament if they win. And the event will be televised at the upcoming World Cup and will showcase Papua New Guinea. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The Pepsi Capital Rugby Union competition is approaching the business end of the season, and teams are already muscling up to secure spots in the finals. This weekend's games are so crucial for all the teams in the Premier Division. For the University Piggies and Harlequins, it's a must-win game. Winning this match will put them in box seat for the finals. The Gangloff University Piggies sit third on the points ladder, and Harlequins are behind in fourth position with 1 win separating both sides. Winning this match is everything. Piggies won 8 matches, lost 3 and sit on 39 points. Harlequins won 7, lost 3 and sit on 37 points. Both clubs have been powerhouse teams in the Pepsi CRU in the recent years. Their clash tomorrow will be another highlight match for the round 14 fixtures. But they are not the only teams out on mission to secure a spot in the finals, as 7th place Crusaders will have to pull an upset win against Nova to keep its finals hope alive. However, Nova will not give in that easily, given its premature finish in the finals last season. The team will aim to go one step further this season in the Premier Division. Brothers and Defence Rugby Union look certain to book their spots in the finals already. They will be working on some areas they lack in preparation for the finals. University Piggies, Harlequins, Nova and Wanderers will have to win games and lock their positions until the final round of the regular season, which will give them chances of making the finals. While Crusaders and MBB Marlins will try to win more games than the rest of the teams in order to make the finals, it is a matter of who wins and who loses to determine their chances. For Juggernauts and Valley Hunters, who are on the bottom of the points ladder, they will close the season in the hope that things work in their favour in the next season. Round 14 fixtures kicks off at 8 a.m. this Saturday at Bava Park. The Commanders Defence Force Cup Grand Final rematch between Basilic Marlins and 1134 Crocs went in favour of Crocs 3-0 in a strong encounter this morning at the Lay Rugby League Oval. The 1134 Crocs, who took this field as underdogs, shocked the title favourites. PNG's Basilic Marlins stood tall on the first day of the tournament, defeating Goldie Warriors 13-3. They registered the highest score by any team in the opening day of the tournament. But in day 2 of the tournament, the Crocs showed up in a desperate attempt to save their finals hope, successfully holding off the high-flying Marlins. 1134 Crocs defeating Marlins in a tight contest 3-0. This win would put the Crocs back in position to give the Commanders Cup title another shot after losing the grand final to Marlins in 2019. While this match brought back the excitement from 3 years ago, coordinator of the tournament, David Tiki, said it is heartwarming to see competition return after COVID-19 restrictions. The last tournament was held in 2019 and Marlins won the cup. Now that the game is up and running again, Tiki is happy. He said it isn't just about sports, but establishing friendship among soldiers. He said, developed friendship in college until they were separated to join different units. The Commanders Defence Cup competition will run into next week. Teams will go into finals and semi-finals before grand final on July 20th. As the points ladder stands, Basilic Marlins lead and are still favourites to retain the CDF's Cup. This is the 21st CDF Cup tournament. The Port Moresby men's softball season 2023 concludes this weekend with an intriguing grand final showdown looming between minor premiers Power and United Brothers in the main A-grade game at the Bicini Softball Park on Sunday. Defence will take on Gazelle in the B-grade grand final.
The Bicini Softball Park is set to host its first post-COVID softball grand final this Sunday with a nice buzz building. The main event in the A-grade between Power and United Brothers is shaping up to be a blockbuster, with the veteran, after disposing of Gazelle last week, looks set to give minor premiers Power a good run for their money when they hit the diamond on Sunday. Power, coming off a bye last week, have had a solid season, taking out the minor premiership honours. They have been very consistent in all phases of their game in terms of batting and fielding, but that would be tested out when they face the might of Brothers, who are in equally good form and ready for the big showdown. Vice President of Port Moresby men's softball, Ezekiel Tovia, said it's been a challenging year getting the interest and clubs back to the Diamonds after COVID-19. He thanked everyone for their perseverance and commitment to getting the competition back on. He said after 10 weeks of competition, including the semi-finals, they are now looking forward to the grand finale this weekend. Following the senior men's grand final, the Lick Junior softball competition will resume at the end of the season.
Short competition, it's 10 weeks, and now we're into the finals. Competition has gone well. We're now into the finals. It's been very competitive in the finals. Now we're heading towards the grand final next week, and we're sure to see some good softball next week.
Meanwhile, the president said the Port Moresby men's team to the Masaka Invitational Softball Tournament in Indonesia have been hard at training, with only a month left before the team travel in September. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
That's it for Sport, Jasmine.
Thank you, Rex. That's it for TV1 News. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.